And now, live in studio, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
And yes, here we are again another day, committed to being your consumer advocate, helping you as a consumer understand your buying decisions, making you just a bit more street smart out there here in the greater Tampa Bay area. Of course, the Gulf Coast of Florida, all the way down to Fort Myers, Naples, with our listening audience down south. So we appreciate you tuning in and supporting the show. We've had an uptick in calls lately. A lot of people calling in, texting in to our hotline for consumer advocate advice. You know, we want to empower, educate, and entertain here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. And it's all about you, our listeners, our viewers of our TV show. Maybe you're watching us on Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, Roku, 85 other outlets through Ben's Networks, or just listening right here at 4 o'clock drive time on AM 860 The Answer, also 93.7 on the FM dial. We got a weekend show on FM 102.5 The Bone. You can hear us Sunday mornings on 102.5 The Bone as well on Sunday mornings, 7 a.m. on the Bone. So we're back here in studio. Our goal is to help you win. Giving a shout out to Golf Cart Depot. I got to tell you, we love Golf Cart Depot. They're doing a great job over there, bringing people in for test drives. They got 2 locations here in Tampa Bay, Land O'Lakes, Clearwater. Say hello to Marty. He's the owner of Golf Cart Depot. Let him know you have an interest. There's no high pressure sales, anything like that. Easy Go, Star EV, Cushman, pre-owned and new and used opportunities at Golf Cart Depot. Make sure you let them know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you. And we got an all-star lineup today. We got Fred Muth on the phones. We're going to go to Fred here in just a moment. Let's introduce attorney Jason Kobal in the house. Kobal Law, welcome in.
Thank you, Brandon. Always a pleasure.
Yes, sir. What are we going to talk about today?
Talk about a couple of the new changes that have been made with the coronavirus. As far as on your credit reports, there should be no negative reporting while we're recovering, while we're going through it, and for a year thereafter during our recovery. Talk about that, and then also, like I mentioned, one of my cases and my fair debts for injured workers who got billed, which should never happen in Florida, but it happens often. That case went to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court of Florida has decided that they're going to rule on it. Let's talk a little bit about that as well.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yep,
great stuff. I like that. Appreciate the updates as well. In studio as well, we got Rick Nickerson, Bottomzupp. What are we going to talk about, sir?
Well, it's great to be here. Another great day to be alive and in God's greatest Tampa Bay area. I'm so proud to be a part of this community. And just wanted to talk about, what's going on, what's on everybody's mind right now. Coronavirus, COVID-19 has affected us all in a lot of ways. We've got kids home. It's affected businesses. We've got social spacing that we need to talk about and things like that. And I just wanted to reach out to my customers in the community and let them know that there are a lot of people that are still working, including Bottomzupp, and we're out there removing floors.
That's right.
And we've got some things in place to protect them and our people as well.
That's right. Absolutely. We're still, keeping this economy booming along, and things are going to be a temporary setback, and that's all it is going to be. That's the thing to make sure you realize it's just a temporary setback, and don't let the fear creep in and have you start thinking about all these, extraordinary circumstances that will not probably happen, when it comes
I just don't want fear to creep in. I want people to know and be confident that we live in the greatest part of the country, and
absolutely.
That, this is a temporary setback, but let's all together, we can work together and solve this.
Absolutely. We're going to go to the phones now to Fred Muth, Tampa Screens in Aluminum, a.k.a. the Tin Man. Fred, what's going on, man?
Well, it happens all the time. Rick, you stole my thunder.
Sorry, Fred.
You two guys are really hard to follow. I'm telling you. I got nothing to say after that. I love listening to you guys. Am I coming close?
Oh, you're great, man. You're awesome. We're talking about Tampa Screens and Aluminum. Fred Muth in the real estate industry for many years, and doing a great job there for his clients, helping add on that in between space that we talk about, right?
Yes, sir. Basically today I'm going to follow up on some of the stuff that Rick was talking about, self-isolation and how the building departments are closing down and what we're going to do to get through this and continue operating our business.
Absolutely. So when you look at the businesses, some businesses you slow down, some businesses are actually shut down, the bars, restaurants, things of that nature, schools. But luckily we've got, big shout out as well to our servicemen and women, our first responders. Give a shout out to all the folks in the hospitals working overtime for us to battle this disease. That's what's great about us Americans. We pull together and we do what's necessary.
Yeah, sure. This thing is, it's a hidden enemy. We can't see it. We don't really understand it 100%. I think the best way to defeat it is basically pull the plug on it by not spreading it around.
That's right. That's exactly right. And that's what we got to do. Now, on the Tampa Screens and Aluminum front, are you guys still out there meeting with clients, making deals happen?
Well, yeah, I'm still running leads, but I am self-isolated. What's good is the majority of our work is on the outside of the house, and I specifically tell the customers right away when I come out, I'm not going to meet and greet. Even the 6-foot rule doesn't apply in my mind. I try to stay 20 feet away, and I think that's a safer number. Most people agree with that. I met with a couple the other day. I was so impressed. They called me as I was 10 minutes from the house, and they specifically told me that they were going to be in the house behind the glass on the phone walking me through the job. And I said to them, you can't imagine how much I appreciate that. So we all should do something similar because, once again, I think the best way to defeat it is to not let it advance, by spreading it around.
Yeah, exactly. That's going to flatten the curve, make it that much easier to get back to business. And I believe, of course, the stock market's been taking a little bit of a beating because people are falling victim to that fear. There's a certain amount of people that are going to fall victim to that. But when this market comes back, man, it's going to roar back.
That's a fact. I mean, it's not that we really know that. It's just a strong feeling that we all have inside. I can't see it any other way. It's the old equation is what goes up must come down, what comes down must go up, and we're going to see that happen very well.
That's right. So one of the things I love about real estate is that it's something that we have to live there. We all need a home, and the ability to craft and make that home your own. The ability for Tampa Screens and Aluminum to come in and create a custom outdoor patio, lanai, screen room, whatever you want to call it, added a pool cage onto your pool. That's artwork in a sense, isn't it, Fred?
It sure is. And what I like is, the new homeowner, it's their first home. And, it still smells like new paint. The ink on the paperwork's not dry yet, and they're loving their new home. But automatically they're trying to figure out what they want to do with that in-between space outside, and that's when they call us in. Generally, we're in there within, for estimating, within 4 to 6 weeks after they close on a new home. Quite often, less than 20% of the time, I would say, we're bidding the jobs on homes that are under construction, under contract.
Right.
So they love their new home, but they move from a climate that less than 4 months of the year they can enjoy the outside. So they come to Florida and they want that in-between space. And I use that term all the time, Brandon. Thank you.
Hey, my pleasure. Absolutely. And we're talking with Fred Muth, Tampa Screens and Aluminum, on the phone, and have an opportunity to add value to your property as well. If you don't have this type of a screen room or lanai on your property, Tampa Screens and Aluminum been in business for how many years? Tampa Screens and Aluminum been around now, Fred?
Well, I've known about them from about 1992. That's when I got into the business. But however, my understanding, Richard took it over from his dad in '89, and so his dad had it prior to him. So it's longer than 1989. I don't know the exact year. So they've been around quite a long time. And to me, that's important in the contracting business. Is to find a contractor that is solid and substantial and that isn't going to fly away tomorrow, because I've seen that so often in the aluminum industry. I've seen companies come and go, change names. They'll build projects incorrectly and the lawsuits are there. So they flip the name around and they continue operating under another name and continue doing the same crazy things. But I'm not here to talk negative. I'm just trying to tell you the truth about the industry. And it's not only aluminum, it's any business out there. Rick, you could probably back me up with that, right?
Fred, I'm right with you on that, and I want to piggyback off that and just make sure that your contractor's licensed and certified. You can look them up on sunbiz.org. Do your research, look them up. I mean, it's so easy now. We've got access to the internet. Do your research, find out, get a second opinion on any project that you're going to spend a substantial amount of money on, Fred.
That's it. And if you get in trouble, call Jason.
There you go. Right.
That is correct. He's there for you.
That's right. Yep. So, Fred.
Other than that, we're still signing them up. I talked to the office this morning, and we're still trying to get some permits, get some jobs out. I'm supposed to sign 2 or 3 up before the week's over. So I guess we're still moving along pretty good. I signed one 2 weeks ago, and they were from New York, and they called me, and I've been working with this couple for 3 months, and they called me, and they came back from New York, and they said to me, we're going to meet on the Lanai, and we're not getting close to each other. And I said to them, this is going to be the first contract I've ever signed without a handshake, and they loved it.
That's right. Yeah, Tampa screens and aluminum. And how do you think the whole virus thing is going to affect pricing, especially for aluminum and some of the raw materials that people are using in your industry?
Well, I believe pricing and everything in this country is going to shift. Who knows which direction? That's the problem. Right now, it's a little premature to try to answer that intelligently.
Mm-hmm.
We need machinery. We need for the medical industry. Oh my gosh, when you think about what we need, and the automobile plants are starting to manufacture some of these machines that we need. So who knows what's going to happen with raw materials and aluminum, for example. Aluminum is a specific item that is used in the medical industry. So that product may be, in demand higher than it is now. So, I'm not sure. It's hard for me to speculate that. I don't want to overthink this thing because obviously that's when your mind starts to go in crazy directions.
That's right.
I try to evaluate what's going on a daily basis. I do catch the news, the real news and the fake news, and I make a decision almost on a daily basis as to where things are going. My wife, she's in the medical industry. She's a Tampa general, and she gives me a lot of different ideas, what they've talked about daily in the hospital. And one of the things that she did mention, by the way, was about the 6-foot rule. It's probably not the best thing out there. It should be extended out beyond that. So, you get it from medical people, you get it from the, CNN or whichever one you watch, and you just got to make your own decision on a daily basis because it's changing on a daily basis.
Yeah, that's right. And control the economy between your own ears. That's the main one, and make sure you don't fall victim to fear. Great nuggets of advice there. Fred Muth, Tampa Screens and Aluminum. We appreciate you spending some time with us, Fred.
Oh, yeah, you just hit that one on the head. I like that. I like your response there. That was great.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Because there's certain things you can control, some of these things outside of your control. Not you can be concerned with it, but you don't want to overly invest time into it and focus on the things that you can control. Your 80-20 rule, your what Gary Keller calls the one thing in his book. He wrote the one thing. So good stuff.
And don't let fear overcome your life right now.
That's right. Absolutely. All right, Fred, thanks so much for calling in. We appreciate you, man.
Okay. Am I done?
We are done. We are done with Fred Muth, the Tampa Screens and Aluminum, the Tin Man. We're done for today.
Man,
so
great. I'll get back to work here at my desk. Thank you, sir.
Okay, buddy. Talk to you soon.
Thanks, Fred.
Hi, Fred. Thank you.
All right, more from attorney Jason Kobal after this break. Kobal Law as well. Rick Nickerson in the house. Bottomzupp, and we got an interesting clip that I want to play for you from a podcast from a billionaire developer of Spanx right here locally in Clearwater here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Also, our feel good story of the day: stuck at home. This award-winning chef is teaching free cooking classes on Instagram. So stay with us right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Check out consumerqb.com.
This is Chris Voss, former FBI lead hostage negotiator and owner of the Black Swan Group, and you're listening to Consumer Quarterback Show hosted by my friend Brandon Rhymes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, this week we're going to talk about something exciting as usual.
We always have something exciting.
Yes, we do.
At least it's exciting to us.
But this is a question that comes up.
TV, hey, it is Friday night. We're not here. Yes, we pre-recorded once again because WeBeam TV is working over in Tampa with Dancing with the Stars.
62 Who Knew. I almost said Professional Mortgage Alliance, Joe's Bar and Grill. But actually, it's our 39th week. 62 Who Knew.
We're at the wonderful steampunk event at the Verizon Event Center here in 2019. I think it's still August, right? Yeah. Woo! Can't remember. Ask to me about Florida law.
Yeah.
be able to help businesses to do that part of it. But it's just been a couple of years.
Well, and I've taken the business card files from our business cards and made
entrepreneurs and professionals of Tampa Bay. Welcome to your hour for getting the information, the tools, and the connections for
Battles on Radio Influence.
Or you say left hand white, and then they catch the left hand white. What it does, it helps you quick with hand-eye coordination. Yeah.
Well, that's kind
as your super connector. We want to introduce you to our 50-plus show partners. We got over 80 categories of expert contributor advice here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, and we want to.
That's where we disagree, but that's okay.
I said nonviolent.
That's okay.
Because, we're one of the only states that don't give them back to life. We've got Jamie Limbaugh. He is from the Next Step image. I love that image because you were telling me earlier.
For the type of republic we actually are is actually very correct. Yet politicians and regular people use these words interchangeably, even though technically they are very different.
If you're an overdoer, overachiever, people pleaser, we tend to neglect ourselves. And even as Sisters Connected here, with Women Unscripted, I know.
You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Realty. My wife and I own and operate a top real estate team here in the area. We would love to talk to you if you're buying, selling, or investing, or a realtor that's open to potentially joining our team. We're going to help you, future-proof your business when it comes to the Keller Williams models and strategy that we're employing here with the radio TV show model. So reach out to the hotline if you have any interest, and of course in our guest as well in studio, attorney Jason Kobal, KobalLaw.com. We've got Rick Nickerson as well, Bottomzupp as well in studio, and we just heard from Fred Muth, Tampa Screens and Aluminum. So reach out, 813-670-7372 is our hotline, and we're getting an uptick in calls lately. We appreciate everybody reaching out and supporting our show. 813-670-7372.
You used to call me on my cell phone.
And what a great time to go check out Replenish IV Solutions right now. This is a cocktail that's going to be served up vitamin infusion drip style. It's going to be Myers cocktail, vitamins, minerals, electrolytes going right into your bloodstream. The science of nutritional balance. Say hello to Stephen and Lisa Gunnan over at their Carrollwood office up on Bear Sandell Mabry, or South Tampa location on Gandy Boulevard right here in South Tampa. They've got the fatigue fighter, weight loss, detoxification, ozone therapy, anti-aging, health and wellness, lots of amino acids and extras available from Replenish IV Solutions. Make sure you let them know that the Real Estate Quarterback sent you, and take them up on some special offers and incentives just by mentioning that you're a fan of the Consumer Quarterback Show. All right, we've got a car wash available for sale. Hot real estate listing here, 1410 North Betty Lane in Clearwater. Cash cow income generating opportunity. Got a car wash available in Clearwater. It's a 3 or 4 bays there. 1410 North Betty Lane in Clearwater. The owner says he puts in literally about 2 hours a week in work, and he's generating a lot of cash profits from it, and he's just ready to get rid of it. He's owned it for a while. Car wash available in Clearwater on Betty Lane. So that's a great opportunity. 8325 West Hillsborough Avenue. We've got an office building for sale. If you're a business owner looking to, tired of paying rent, you want to go ahead and develop that business that you own. 8325 West Hillsborough Avenue is an office. Got a beautiful conference room, private, very, very luxurious private office there, gated. Comes with a full suite of security cameras as well. Freestanding office building with lots of parking and a great opportunity to own real estate right here in Tampa Bay. Check out all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. All right, so we got attorney Jason Kobal in the house, one of our legal analysts on the show, Kobal Law. And not many attorneys have had the pleasure of having a case and taking it to the Florida Supreme Court. That's a pretty cool feat.
Yeah, very excited, in particular because I've been practicing law for 19 years, and I've been doing workers' comp for 17. But this is an idea I came up with like 4 or 5 years ago. The case law in workers' comp says if my client gets billed, like say he goes to the hospital on the date of the accident and he gets the emergency room bill, I cannot bring that bill before the comp judge and have the comp judge rule on it because my client as the injured worker is not the responsible party to pay for that bill. It's the insurance carrier. So the court ruled that I don't have standing to bring that in workers' comp. So I was having situations where my clients would have their credit ruined and they're getting these bills and they're not even, I can't even bring them to workers' comp. So I was like, what could I do? I discovered the fair debt law. It says in the FCCPA, basically, long story short, you cannot knowingly bill someone that you know doesn't owe that money. So what I did was I filed cases under that law, and then I cite to the workers' comp statute that says you cannot bill an injured worker knowingly. So that's the legal right that they're asserting that they know they don't have when they know they're billing the injured worker. So on those cases, I just prove through the medical records and my client's testimony, the medical facility knew that he was an injured worker. And the law in workers' comp, they have a reimbursement process. Like, for example, if you're in an emergency room and you're treating an injured worker, you have 24 hours to figure out who the carrier is and call them by the phone if they admit them, or 72 hours if they discharge them that same day. Instead of following those responsibilities, they abrogate those responsibilities and they bill the injured worker directly, and that's wrong. So I filed these cases under the FCCPA, and one of them was against one of the biggest hospitals in the state, and I lost at trial court. And I thought it was ridiculous. And then I just think that these hospitals have a lot of power.
Yeah.
Long story short, right now that's sitting with the second DCA and looking good. And then the other case I had to ship out to a class action attorney. That's Patty Davis. That's the one the Supreme Court has just decided they're going to rule on. And in that one, the medical facility is trying to argue that what I'm doing is wrong, that you can't bring these cases. It has to stay, comp stuff should stay in comp court, and they're arguing the court doesn't have subject matter jurisdiction. Now, the DCA ruled in our favor, so they're the appellant going to the Supreme Court, so it's going to be tough for them. And I just hope that the Supreme Court agrees.
With uphold it.
Yeah, because if they don't, that's part of my business would be down the tubes. So,
oh, man.
But I don't think that's going to happen because that's, what's right is right, and the law is pretty clear.
Yeah, the District Court of Appeals is the DCA, right? So they agree with your side.
Correct.
And the fact that these workers are being billed, and it's right there in law that says they shouldn't be billed. But yeah, I get it. You never really know until
you never know. But I like our chances because I have faith. Honest to God, if they had to rule against us on that, I think they would have to change the comp law because it just doesn't jive with what the comp law says.
Right.
So I'm very confident. And like I said, what's really cool is this was just an idea I had a couple of years ago, and now here we are. It's in front of the Supreme Court, and then once they rule on it, that's a big precedent, that's about, only thing above that's the United States Supreme Court.
Right.
And then honestly, I have my sights turned on other states like Pennsylvania. In order for me to do this plan, you have to have the work comp law and you have to have the fair debt law. Not every state does, but a lot of them do. And I've got a whole list. So after Florida gets straightened out, we're going to move on to other ones.
Nice. Very cool. Now, we're talking with attorney Jason Kobal, local attorney here in Tampa Bay, koballaw.net. I think I said .com earlier. It's actually .net, right? So Kobal Law. Now, when you look at these types of things, so you're protecting injured workers, you're protecting drivers that have been in accidents, and so let's talk a little bit about who you want to talk to, who you want to have a consultation with.
Anybody who's injured. You could be injured at work. That's workers' comp. You could be injured just from at home or just something you were born with and you can't work anymore. Well, that's Social Security disability. So I can consider myself an injury attorney. Say you get in a car accident or you slip and fall. Well, that's a personal injury case. Yeah. So if you're injured, in particular, if it happened at work or if it's someone's fault, definitely give me a call. But if you're injured and you want to try to get disability, we can do that as well.
Now, they're fighting disability hard as they've ever fought, aren't they?
Definitely. Well, because they know the system's running out of money.
Yeah.
So we get cases that I know I'm going to win once it gets to the hearing.
Yeah.
But to get to the hearing, it's like 2.5 years
Wow.
from application until the hearing, because the first decision happens in 3 or 4 months. Then you got to appeal that. It's called the reconsideration. That takes another 3 or 4 months.
Wow.
Then you request a hearing. That takes 12 to 18 months because
Yeah.
of the backlog. So, can you wait that long? It's tough. Not a lot of people could last.
Especially when they're injured, they're hurting, they have a need for disability. And the only other court I've heard that's backed up even worse is the immigration courts. I've heard those are like 3 or more years backed up.
Right.
So, by the way, we're looking for an immigration attorney. Anyone out there that might want to be, a contributor on the show, a legal analyst, please, send those referrals in. We would love to talk to an immigration attorney on the show. But Jason Kobal here in studio. Coronavirus, you got updates coming up for that too.
Yeah, just honestly this week, and I'm not sure. I just looked at it. I don't know if it's in the bill that just passed and became law or if it's in the next one, but I know that they're saying for the time period where we're in, where we have the restrictions for the coronavirus, we're in the thick of it right now. The credit bureaus, no company could report something negative on your credit reports.
Okay.
So if you see anything negative while this is going on, give me a call. And then it says it's for the year after during our recovery. So that's cool. So people's credit scores, they should not be going down the tubes while we're fighting this.
Right. Okay, good. I want to zero in on that a little bit more. Like, how does that affect with mortgage payments? We talk about these banks collecting record profits after they got bailed out in 08. So I want to talk about that and how that may affect, especially with the credit and people's income being lost as well. We got Rick Nickerson in the house as well. Bottomzupp, going to hear from Rick. And we got an interesting story from the Spanx founder here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. So stay with us. Follow us online at Brandon Rhymes1 on Instagram and Twitter. And we'll see you right after this break. Don't go.
Hey, I'm Ken Shamrock, and you're here with Consumer Quarterback Show. And I say, Brandon Rhymes, knock out your competition.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, this week we're going to talk about something exciting as usual.
We always have something exciting.
Yes, we do.
At least it's exciting to us.
This is a question that comes up.
TV, hey, it is Friday night. We're not here. Yes, we pre-recorded once again because WeBeam TV is working over in Tampa with D'Angelo Star.
62 who knew. I almost said Professional Mortgage Alliance, Joe's Bar and Grill. But actually, it's our 39th week. 62 who knew.
We're at the wonderful steampunk event at the Verizon Event Center here in 2019. I think it's still August, right? Yeah. Woo! Can't remember anymore.
Ask Anthony about Florida.
To be able to help businesses to do that part of it. But it's just been a couple of years.
Well, and I've taken the business card files from our business cards from Nathan.
Entrepreneurs and professionals of Tampa Bay, welcome to your hour for getting the information, the tools, and the connections
Ian
for
Beckles on Radio Influence.
Or you say left hand white, and then they catch the left hand white. What it does, it helps you quick with hand-eye coordination. Yeah.
Well, that's kind
As your super connector, we want to introduce you to our 50+ show partners. We got over 80 categories of expert contributor advice here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, and we want to.
That's where we disagree, but that's okay.
I said nonviolent.
That's okay.
Because, we're one of the only states that don't give them back the right. Got Jamie Limbaugh. He is from the Next Step image. I love that image because you were telling me earlier.
For the type of republic we actually are is actually very correct. Yet politicians and regular people use these words interchangeably, even though technically they are very different.
If you're an overdoer, overachiever, people pleaser, we tend to neglect ourselves. And even as Sisters Connected here, with Women Unscripted, I know
You're listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. Former USF football player, playing on the inaugural football team for the Bulls. So we're taking that football angle, that quarterback angle to our real estate transactions. We want to be that quarterback on your team, help guide you through a successful transaction through that process. And my wife and I own a top team here in Tampa Bay. So buying, selling, or investing, love to talk to you. We've got an all-star lineup in studio today. Attorney Jason Kobal in the house, koballaw.net. Rick Nickerson from Bottomzupp. More from Rick coming up here in just a moment. More from Jason coming up in our lightning round. But I want to let you know about a couple of hot listings that we've got here in Tampa Bay. We got some lots available. Harbor Drive, we've got beautiful opportunity here in Clearwater. Check out these two lots. They're side by side, 150, 160 range price point. But you've got direct access out into the bay right here through Harbor Drive in Clearwater. Build either a single family home, or you can get up to 9 units on both of those if you buy both of those properties. So think about a builder developer opportunity right here in Tampa Bay to build in beautiful Tampa Bay. Photography compliments of Fabre Frameworks as well, our official real estate photographer. Great opportunity here in beautiful Tampa Bay. Now, we also I've got several vacant land listings. So developers, builders, I'd love to talk to you about these properties. But there's one at 4214 Peaceful Lane in Land O'Lakes. Now, this one is 8 lots, 5 of which are direct waterfront right on Bell Lake, which is a 90-acre ski lake loaded with bass, loaded with all types of great fishing, and a great opportunity available here in Tampa Bay. Now, this one's priced just over $1 million, and you got the entitlements already in place. So reach out. We'd love to talk to you, or hit us up. You can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. All right, so we're back here in studio. Let's go to Rick Nickerson now. Bottomzupp in the house. Bottomzupp, flooring removal company expert here in Tampa Bay, and of course all the way down to Fort Myers, Naples. We've had you on the show, the pleasure of speaking with you about a lot of the mindset you have behind your business and how you're the leader of that organization. But yeah, some good stuff, man. You got a jackhammer story today too. We're going to share here.
Yeah. I just wanted to share that with you. To show that we're out there making it happen every day, and we're a small company. We're very proud of the Tampa Bay area. It's where we live and work, and we know that we're sympathetic towards the consumer right now. All of our guys are aware. The social spacing that's taking place affects all of us. A lot of my customers, we're about our business ratio is about 80% residential, 20% commercial. We're shifting right now for obvious reasons. We're shifting away from, during this time, not panicking, just shifting away from a lot of the residential stuff that would include, households with young kids inside the home. I mean, let's face it, we're all out of school for the next couple of weeks. I've got one at my house, and the kids are camping out at the house, and it's probably not a good time to get it done at that point. So we're shifting to the remodels, and that's why I wanted to show the little video, because I got a friend of mine who's remodeling, and he was saying, what are you going to come out and supervise? And I'm like, yeah, I'll come out and supervise. And we went over to his house, and the first thing I like to do when I'm supervising is pick up a jackhammer or ride one of my ride-on stripper scraper machines, and people freak out when they see it.
That's cool. So we got a video playing here for watching our TV show.
Yeah, on the TV show. So there I am.
Nice.
I've got a Hilti 700 AVR. We've got a complete remodel in the Safety Harbor area, and people installed a glass wall tile on the floor. And a buddy of mine said, man, can we come out there and get rid of it? And being a close friend, I said, I'd like to come out and work with you. And he kind of laughed, like, he took the video and said, oh my God, so here's the president of the company out there with a jackhammer, a mask, and gloves and safety goggles on out there ripping up floors. But
you had good form. I could see the form.
Did you like
there.
that?
I see the athletic base.
I'm not a bit afraid. I'm not a bit afraid to get out there. And I like, keep your hand on the pulse, know what's going out, know what your guys are doing. I mean, I've got 65 family members, team members with the Bottomzupp from, Naples, Fort Myers area to the Sarasota, Bradenton area. And we're a family, and we treat you like a family, and that's what makes us really proud. And we know what you're going through right now. I just want to let people know that we're aware of what's going on as well. And I'm big into hand sanitizer, masks, gloves, where you can contract these things, and who's asymptomatic and so forth. We're aware of that, and we're out there for you, and together we can get through this. But we don't have to quit working. We don't have to quit being there for one another. If we're safe and smart, business as usual can keep up.
Right. Yeah. Now, going back to that clip you played, this is a perfect opportunity for the homeowner to kind of understand that this was you had mentioned that was a wall tile that was put on the floor. So not necessarily the right install on that job.
That's exactly what happened there.
Yeah.
And a lot of people experience that. And that's where, you let your team of experts come in. And, originally they were misquoted that they had to come in and pour concrete up 2 inches. That was going to cost them thousands and thousands of dollars for a small amount of money. For our removal fee, we were going to come in and we'll make it right all down to the same level for you.
Nice.
And we got it all done in half a day, and he was very, very happy. We saved him thousands of dollars, and let the floor removal experts, the people who are licensed, certified, live and work in the community. If you've got a flooring project, give them a call. We're www.bottomzupp.com, BOTTOMZUPP.com. Let the licensed professionals come in and provide you with a quote.
Now, you guys are both business owners. We run businesses, and I love to get inspired. So I've got a clip I was going to play here from one of my favorite mentors, Tony Robbins, and he has an awesome podcast. Of course, I listen to a lot of the different podcasts, kind of get them perspective. But listen to this clip. This is from Sarah Blakely, I believe is her name. She's from the Clearwater area. Talked about how she used to sell fax machines in a couple different zip codes in Clearwater, and then she had this $1 million idea. Multi-million-dollar idea of starting Spanx. So the story was awesome if you want to check out it. But listen to this 30-second clip we've got here.
Women come up to me all the time and they're like, I thought of that. I did that at home too to solve that problem. But why didn't I create Spanx? And I don't usually have the time to tell them that I've been working on manifesting and visualization and setting intentions for so long.
Yes.
That anyway, so that's kind of what brought me to that moment. But I was really searching and wanting that. I wanted a different life for myself.
It's so beautiful because so many people have ideas, and ideas are a dime a dozen. As you said, I always talk to people. It's like it's not even the knowledge. Knowledge isn't power. It's execution that trumps knowledge every day. So you got yourself to do that.
Yeah. So your comments are listening to that. What does that bring?
It's just so inspirational. I mean, that's how Bottomzupp was formed. I mean, there was a need that was not being met, just like this young lady here. And I've got a daughter who has her own small business. I'm not going to mention the name, but it's in the clothing line, and she does shows online through Facebook and so forth. So when I see that, I'm inspired by not only a young woman who had failed before, but saw a need in the work environment and said, you know what, I'm going to jump on it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to make it happen. It reminds me so much of 11 years ago when the Bottomzupp idea was formed. When everybody said, you know what, now don't do it, but apprehension will set you back.
That's right.
Believe in yourself and you can achieve anything. And if you know the idea is good and you're willing to work hard, 10 years later, you can be reaping the rewards.
Yeah. And the story was great where she went into the buyers and talked to the buyers and went around and coached all the different departments on how to sell the Spanx. And so it's a great story. But it goes back to the idea. You got the idea, like Jason had his idea to take this to the Supreme Court and push further. But then it comes to, manifestation, visualization, she mentioned, setting intention, having that intention to do what you actually believe in and then taking action. I think that's where a lot of people drop the ball. They have these great ideas, but they lack on the execution, as Tony Robbins said.
Yeah, absolutely. And, Jason, amazing, because I'm on the other side of that with workers' comp. And, oh, my God, I'm not even going to tell you what I paid for insurance last year.
Right.
But when I see you, I'm inspired by you as well in that you took something and said, now, wait a minute. I'm not going to take no for an answer.
Yep.
I'm going to go in through the back door and I'm going to meet the need and I'm going to take on that big business and I'm going to say, you know what? Right is right.
That's it.
And that makes the difference. And I'm inspired by that.
No. Yeah. When I heard that honestly, gave me chills because honestly, it's the same thing. This case is the first case law in the country, and these laws, they existed for years. So I'm not the first one to think of it. Ideas are a dime a dozen, but it's to actually go forward with it and make it happen. That's the hard part. So that's true.
Taking massive action, especially when it's uncharted waters, like creating a company like Rick did with Bottomzupp, creating a product like she's done with me. I feel it's, you know, the radio TV show model coupled with a real estate business differently than other people have done in the past. So the idea is, you know, when you have that idea, and this is a big key that I've learned from Robbins. He says, when you have the idea of a goal, some kind of a new goal pops into your mind, some kind of, oh, that would be a cool idea. Maybe I should do that one day or someday, right? And you've heard of Someday Isle, the island that you get on and you can't get off and you never get there.
You're trapped.
You've got to take an action step towards that goal. It could be something as simple as pulling out your journal, jotting down as many ideas about it as you can, or making that call to that potential whoever, builder, developer, if you're thinking about a condo project or whatever it might be, making some kind of scheduling, some type of an action step towards it. Because if not, it's just going to sit there and it's going to go away as an idea.
Right.
You know, so you can take that action step and that's going to lead you towards success. So let's take a break here. We're going to come right back. Jason Kobal in the house, Rick Nickerson as well. We're going to jump into our lightning round. Plus, we have our feel-good story of the day. Interesting story as people are coping with this. Are we calling it the Chinese virus now? The Chinese virus. Okay.
Our president
so stuck
announced
at home
it today.
That's right. Stuck at home, this award-winning chef is teaching free cooking classes on Instagram. So find out about that and more from our expert contributors right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Check out consumerqb.com.
Thanks for listening to my daddy's show. For more information, go to consumerqb.com.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com. Ian Beckles.
All right, this week we're going to talk about something exciting as usual.
We always have something exciting.
Yes, we do.
At least it's exciting to us.
This is a question that comes up.
TV, hey, it is Friday night. We're not here. Yes, we pre-recorded once again because WeBeam TV is working over in Tampa with D'Angelo Star.
62 who knew. I almost said Professional Mortgage Alliance, Joe's Bar and Grill, but actually it's our 39th week. 62 who knew.
We're at the wonderful steampunk event at the Verizon Event Center here in 2019. I think it's still August, right? Yeah. Woo! Can't remember anymore.
Ask to me about
Yes. To be able to help businesses to do that part of it. But it's just been a couple of years.
Well, and I've taken the business card files from our business cards and made
Entrepreneurs and professionals of Tampa Bay, welcome to your hour for getting the information, the tools, and the connections
Ian
for
Beckles on Radio Influence.
Or you say left-hand white, and then they catch the left-hand white. What it does, it helps you quick with hand-eye coordination. Yeah.
Well, that's kind
As your super connector, we want to introduce you to our 50+ show partners. We got over 80 categories of expert contributor advice here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, and we want to.
That's where we disagree, but that's okay.
I said nonviolent.
That's okay.
Because, you know, we're one of the only states that don't give them back the right. Got Jamie Limbaugh. He is from the Next Step image. I love that image because you were telling me earlier.
For the type of republic we actually are is actually very correct. Yet politicians and regular people use these words interchangeably, even though technically they are very different.
If you're an overdoer, overachiever, people pleaser, we tend to neglect ourselves. And even as Sisters Connected here, you know, with Women Unscripted, I know
You're listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. Of course, we want to help you buying, selling, or investing. We're hiring right now as well, so reach out if you are or know of someone that's looking to join a winning team. We got the best technology, education, training, support here with Keller Williams Realty, and of course the Consumer Quarterback Show. So we got a feel-good story of the day coming at you. I wanted to give a shout out to the Bilmar Beach Resort over on Gulf Boulevard, Treasure Island, filled with fantastic and generous amenities to make your vacation that much more special. And of course, if you're local, we call it a staycation here, but they've got 2 pools on site, Sloppy Joe's Beach Bar and Restaurant right on site as well. And they have daily music as well, nightly music and entertainment over at Bilmar Beach Resort. Make sure you let them know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you. And the beach is huge over there. It's just a huge beach. Social spacing would definitely be in effect over there. Plenty of room to roam and enjoy Bilmar Beach Resort, the official hotel partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. And we got attorney Jason Kobal in the house, koballaw.net, and Rick Nickerson from Bottomzupp. He's the owner of Bottomzupp.com. And we heard from Fred Muth earlier as well on the show. Fred Muth, Tampa Screens and Aluminum. But we are going to tell you something good here.
Tell me something good.
Okay, so this is Stuck at Home, this award-winning chef teaching free cooking classes on Instagram. So Michelin star chef Massimo Bottura is teaching free online cooking classes during this time when people are stuck at home and restaurants across the world are closed. Every night, Chef Bottura is streaming how he prepares his nightly meals. He calls them the streams Kitchen Quarantine. He says will take place 3 o'clock Eastern time on his official Instagram account. So far, the 57-year-old Italian chef has taught us how to make a veggie-packed Thai curry salad, tortellini with thick Parmesan sauce, and a New York-inspired pasta. Afterwards, Bottura addressed fans and questions and comments about his Q&A online. Bottura wanted to be clear. He isn't just teaching kitchen skills. This is not a cooking show, he said in short video. He said that this is a way to share with people from all over the world. We just want to be part of the world. And he quotes the Italian poet who said, yes, we are here home, but we are talking to the whole world. So we are sharing the whole world. So that's a pretty cool idea. More and more companies, I think that's a big area of going forward, is that virtual, at least for these next, who knows, 4, 5, 6, 8 weeks. That's going to be virtual learning, Zoom calls, those types of things. Are you guys seeing any of that in your businesses as far as clients not wanting to meet face to face?
Yep. Actually, they just announced for workers' comp, all of our mediations are usually in person. Now they're all by phone. So it's happening everywhere. And I'm actually impressed with our society. Yeah. When I first saw China doing, nobody's going to work, everyone's staying home, I thought, no way would we do that here.
Not in America.
But you know what? We did because we had to. And I'm impressed that as many people are cooperating as they are. It's cool. Yeah, it is. It's good to see.
Coming together. As I mentioned before, too, with, the servicemen and women, the first responders, the fire, the police, of course, the military, but then the workers in the hospitals. They're really staying overtime for us. So we really appreciate everybody. And we offer discounts for any of those folks in that space as well. We offer 1/4 to 1/2 point for all of our servicemen and women in that space. So we've got attorney Jason Kobal in the house, Rick Nickerson as well, bottomsup.com. Let's go ahead and jump right into our lightning round.
The lightning round!
I am so good at lightning rounds!
I majored in lightning rounds.
All right, here we go. We're going to do some top tips, nuggets of advice, parting words of wisdom. Attorney Jason Kobal, Kobal Law.
I'm going to piggyback a little bit off something Fred and Rick was talking about earlier. If you do hire a contractor, definitely make sure they're licensed, because I just had an incident in one of my cases where my client was a laborer. He was told he was an independent contractor for years, but he really was an employee, but that's one thing. He got seriously hurt when he fell off a ladder. And for the first time in 19 years, I've never seen this, his employer skipped town. He's gone. Nobody can find him, which is going to make it an easy case for me.
Yeah.
Because, he's giving my client's word against nobody.
That's true.
So I'm happy about that for our case, but I've never seen that before. But always try to find a licensed...
default judgment, like what happens in that case?
Well, I'm going to go forward, and my witness is going to be my client, and there's going to be no one on their side. So I doubt they'll actually push it that far. I think eventually they'll give up and give me what I'm asking for. But if it does go to court, I think I could win that one.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. Attorney Jason Kobal, KobalLaw.net. All right, Rick Nickerson, Bottomzupp.
Well, I just wanted to say it was a neat little story that you just had, and the Italian people as a whole have been hit really hard with this virus. And I mean, serenading to each other. I saw on YouTube the other day that and the human spirit providing, what we call hope for the future. And I see, guys, that's just a way for that chef and those people and our businesses to say, hey, we're down, but we're not out. We're still interactive. Right. We're still here. We're here for you. And I'm alleviating that in the morning with my crews. We utilize a Skype method to talk so that we can all be a part when we have a group discussion or something. We're going to change policy, so on and so forth. And what I'm reiterating is we're going to maintain balance. We're going to maintain confidence in what we do. And guys, I've got work for you. It's here. Our customers, we're going to shift a little bit, diversify. You're a part of our family. We're going to take care of you. And I think that local businesses are doing that. We need to all join hands together. There's SBA loans. There's all kinds of things they're going to infuse into the system. I think the government's going to help our employees with, $1,000 or $2,000 a month. There's a lot of things that we can do. Let's gain confidence. Let's be together and joined on this, that we're all facing together. It's affecting the entire business community. It affects us all. But there's, where there's confidence and there's hope, that's God bless America. That's who we are. And it starts with us, the leadership in our industry, in all of our industries, to take a stance, be there for your people at this time and understand what they're going through. I think this too shall pass.
Yes.
And to jump off of what we said at the very beginning, the Tin Man, Fred said it very well. What goes down must come up. So let's maintain confidence. Let's get through this together and be smart. And we're here for you. Bottoms up.
I like it. Yeah, absolutely. I would echo that. Don't let fear overtake your mind. Fear is one of those killers that if you do let it overtake your mind, it will. And you got to, now more than ever, Gary Keller wrote a book years ago called Shift, How to Navigate During Tough Times. And what happens is if you double down in your prospecting, especially if you're on the phones, you're able to do that. I've been doing door knocking, going out and meeting people, not getting within the social distance, 6 feet
keeping your distance, right?
Keeping the distance, hanging door. So what you got to do is double and quadruple, in some cases, increase your number of attempts, right? It's just a big math equation, especially if you're in real estate. I'm speaking directly to real estate for right now, but you got to increase your calls, increase your prospecting, and then focus, come back and focus on positive things, focus on that type of thing, and then minimize some of your expenditures when it comes to that. But I wanted to also pitch a property listing for this segment here, 1410 North Betty Lane in Clearwater. This is a great cash cow opportunity, and I want to get the word out on this property. It's a cash cow, and it is a car wash, income producing car wash right here in Clearwater, and the owner is only putting 2 hours of work in per week to service this. So it's running itself. Where else can you get cash cow flowing in through a commercial asset here? 1410 North Betty Lane in Clearwater. Check it out at platinummvpteam.kw.com or call 813-670-7372. And we'd love to talk to you about that. Let's do another round here, Jason. Attorney Jason Kobal in the studio here. Any other nuggets of advice, parting words of wisdom?
Yeah, you know what? Honestly, it was nice to hear Rick say that because, every day when we hear it's changing. Like, we don't really know what we're dealing with. We've never dealt with this before.
Right.
You have a choice. It's so easy to be negative.
Yes.
And so easy to get scared. But if we could all stick together and be positive and understand that we are going to rebound.
That's right.
And do what we got to do to get it done. That's how we're going to come out on top.
Yeah, there's something
nice to hear.
We've been hearing a lot about attitude over the decades, right? Jim Rohn back in the day, attitude, positivity. But there is something called the smiling effect. If you're smiling, if you're upbeat, if you're happy, if you're energetic, your clients are going to feel that. Your all the different stakeholders in your organization, your employees, everybody's going to be naturally attracted to that, especially in these times, right?
Absolutely. And I believe that. And I talked about that, on Monday. I made a concerted effort. We went through all the news that happened, and it was just like you said, over and over again. We're hearing, this is going bad. And I understand that. And we should all be cautious right now. I understand that. But cautious and fear are two different things. And to stay positive and let your people know that, look, and we call it wiping our feet. We're going to wipe our feet
Yeah.
All right, we're going to join together, and together we can accomplish this. That's how we got to where we're at. That's how we're going to be where we're going to be 10 years from now. And that, putting a smile on your face and being there for somebody. And I tell my guys, I've borrowed your random act of kindness, and I use it every morning in my meetings with my crews.
I like it.
And when we go out, and I tell my guys, just like Brandon Rhymes tells us, and it's so true, consider a random act of kindness. And my guys are a younger generation. We're of the younger generation. My business model is, it's young men removing floors. So, we're talking 18 to 28.
Yeah.
But I let them know that you can smile and open a door for someone.
Yeah.
You can buy someone a cup of coffee, but that smile might be the only time, or say something nice to somebody.
That's
that
right.
might be the only time they get it throughout the day.
That's
And setting that first impression. And I always say, you never get a second chance at a first impression.
That's right.
And make that happen. And in these times, especially, let's be confident going forward as opposed to the opposite.
Absolutely. I love it. Hey, that's a great note to end on. We want you to please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. Something as simple as volunteering some time, donating some blood in times of need, in times of crisis. Do something kind for one another. Be that person that is smiling, that is that force for good in the community. And we'll see you next time right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Follow us online at Brandon Rhymes1 on Instagram and Twitter. The Consumer Quarterback Show page out there as well on Facebook and LinkedIn. And we'll see you next time right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Check out consumerqb.com.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Contact Brandon Rhymes at 813-670-7372. That's 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time for the Consumer Quarterback Show.